warm-up sketch I took the time to do. You should usually do more, but you know what, whatever. Hey everyone, just real quick before we begin, I'm just gonna go onto Twitter and let people know that we're live. Now my back's killing me again. Let's just retweet. Live. There, so anyone who may not necessarily know that we are in fact live will now know that we are live. Hello, everyone who may or may not be watching. I actually don't think anyone is right now, but that's fine. That's okay. We'll just keep going anyway. So for today's stream, we're just gonna be making some Foxtails assets, because that's just how it be, yo. So real quick, just as a reminder, if you want to interact with my little dude Fenbot, you've got a few different commands you can do here, and they do cost the snacks, which you can check by pressing !snacks. Beyond that, ain't too much else to say. Oh, actually, the chat box needs to be above Clip Studio Paint. Hang on. I don't know why suddenly the layering is like super important. It wasn't before, but whatever. I don't know. Maybe it always was, and I'm just not very smart. And I'm gonna go look back at when I played Project Hero last stream, and facepalm because none of the chat was actually visible. Hi, hello, Thomas, the Relipix Queen. Sorry if I keep messing up your name. I am doing well. Admittedly, I'm a little bit achy-breaky today because I spent a good chunk of time in bed. New icon, let's go! Yeah, it's, well, new-ish. I drew it a while ago, but I wanted to wait for a bit to update my... it's not even updated on all of my media yet, but I wanted to wait until a little bit after Pride, because I really liked the bisexual icon that my friend Grayson made for me that I had on my Twitter icon for a while. I wanted to keep that up for a little bit longer because I really like it. Yeah, so again, the Fenbot notes are all there. Today we're going to be playing music in the background again, and we're going to be doing this to the dulcet tones of Super Mario Sunshine. Let me just activate the... Yeah, there we go, desktop audio. And we like that. It's nice and funky. I did too technical yesterday since it's just past midnight yesterday. I slept most of the day yesterday. So you're just past midnight? Anyway, yeah. This is the warm-up sketch. I'm gonna keep that on hand just in case. Let me just real quick pull up Fox's ref. And I don't have it on my computer right now. I just remembered because... Oof, rip. Well, you know what? That's okay, because it's on a different hard drive that I don't have plugged in right now. But that's okay, because I can just use existing assets of Fox. Where's neutral? Where's neutral? Where's neutral? There it is! Look at that happy little boy. There we go. That was weird. So we're going to just paste him in here. And we're going to resize. So how we all doing? I hope we doing well, because I like it when you guys are doing well. It fills me with joy. Admittedly, I might be a little bit slow to respond because, as per normal with these art streams, I don't have a second screen attached because I'm turning down the music. It messes up. It messes up the way that my sort of like cursor goes, so it makes it a lot harder to draw. So where's my phone? Hang on. Something I forgot to do. I had all this other stuff set up, and I forgot to pull up the script for Foxtail, so I know what assets I actually need to make. Ain't that just funny? we're gonna start off with a kind of a simple one, and this one is in relation to a deep anxiety I had for getting my hair cut for a while. Nice and warm here. That's good, what I wish. It's very cold in this room right now because I'm in my basement. Hello, Drjoshfox, and great milk stick again. I'm doing fine. Been doing a lot of drawing recently, mainly on the Sonic OC. Oh yes, you had said that last stream. How's that going? Hang on. Just gonna move away from the stream for just a quick second. Throat's a little dry, so I wanted to get a drink. Ironically, Canada Dry. I don't even normally pick up Canada Dry, but I was just so sick of Coke Zero. So how are we feeling about the music? About Super Mario Sunshine music? Sonic OC is doing fine, nailed down his personality, now working on expressing it via different poses. Very nice. I was in the comment section of a stream recently, and oh geez, what was it? There was this joke that came up that was actually kind of my fault, and it was an idea for a Sonic OC, and they had a really silly name, and I feel bad now because I don't remember what it is, and I was gonna draw it and everything. I have a few silly Sonic OCs. I have a few serious ones too, but I have a few silly ones that I don't think I've ever like shared online, and probably never will, because in particular one of them is very inappropriate. So, you know, that's just how it be, I guess. Oh no, an ad! An ad! Not an ad! Actually, hang on, this is long-haired Fox, so I need to fix his hair. When you get into the rhythm of drawing a character a certain way, you kind of, mistakes like that tend to happen. I think it was like squash the... Was it like light the bug or something? Burn the... It was something like that. They were a firefly, that's what I remember. And it was some sort of like pun, because the streamer was playing Resident Evil 7, and they got to the part with the, all the bugs and whatnot, so... I think it was burn the bug. So, you may see that in the future. Also, I'm always down for Sunshine music. Ugh, same. You know, I have to admit, I don't really care for Mario Sunshine as a whole. I think if you're just going to just finish the game, like, just on its own, it's fine. But if you try 100% it, it's a completely different nightmarish beast. But, there's one thing I really do adore about the game is I think it has a really, really nice soundtrack. It's not for everyone, because it's very lax, it's very calm, which Mario music isn't usually. It's usually very uppity, doot, 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 or whatever, but this soundtrack is, like, very lax and calm, and I don't know, it just puts me in a good mood. With that said, I am going to probably change it from Gelato Beach, because it's starting to get a little bit repetitive. Huh, that's unusual. Oh, there we go. No, an ad! Ah, no, we don't care! Yeah, in case you can't tell, this is all on YouTube, so I don't like have these downloaded or anything. So I sure hope you guys enjoy ads. I don't know if I'll get like in trouble with copyright if certain ads show up. So I'm just gonna start. So I'm just gonna shout over them if they show up. I mean, I'm already probably playing it a little bit risky by playing Nintendo music because I know that they're always a little bit antsy about that sort of thing when it comes to like online presences and whatnot. Of course, I also see people use Animal Crossing music all the time, and I use Animal Crossing music, and I haven't had any issues so far. So who knows? So did anyone get up to anything exciting today? Be it, you know, I don't know, you went out for the first time in a while, or I don't know, you saw some family, or you witnessed the Incredible Hulk fighting Godzilla or something. I don't know. Oh god, look at his chin with his like mouth and whatnot. Ooh man, that is something. Looks a little bit less weird when you actually add in the mouth, but oh wow, that was unpleasant to look at, wasn't it? Like I said earlier, I just drew a lot today. Well, that's fair. That's always fun. And what I wish, I walked about 2 miles. So interesting. Now tell me, would you walk 500 miles, and would you walk 500 more? I feel like that's required information. I need to know. Absolutely. Ah, good. Da da da. Da da da. Da dum da dum da dum da dum da da. Would you be the man to walk 1,000 miles and fall down at your door? Because I also feel like that's important. You need to know. I need to. So how about probably, only probably. I need a yes or no, man. And how about that weather? I don't know. I didn't go out today. Like I said, I honestly I wasn't feeling too great, so I spent most of my time just like resting. And after I finished my exercise for the day and I did some video editing, I basically spent the rest of the day in bed. Pardon me, which is admittedly not great, and I need to get out of the habit of doing that. But you know. Then yeah, okay, good. Good to know. I'm glad I can rely on that information now, that in fact, you would not only walk 500 miles, you'd walk 500 more, and then you'd be the man who'd walk 1,000 miles and fall down at your door. Okay, awesome. Da 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 da. But yeah, as for the weather, I don't know what the weather's like here. I like that I'm trying to answer this sincerely. Well, okay, I did like to let my dogs out. I did go outside for a bit. It was nice. It was fine. You know, it was okay. It was just regular mild Ottawa summer weather. You know, it wasn't too bad. It was about the temperature I like it at. It's nice and hot, but it's not like so hot that you want to die. You know. I'm glad that makes you happy, what I wish. I don't know if that's in relation to the Proclaimers thing that we did or my weather, but I'm assuming it's the Proclaimers thing, and I'm glad you're happy because that makes me happy too. Any chance to reference that one particular song? Because honestly, I don't know any of the other music they've done. Like, I'm sure you could probably go like, oh, well, they did this song. I'd be like, really? And then you'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, oh, yeah, sure. And I'd believe it. Probably. Unless it was, like, something that I was familiar with, obviously. But anyway. So, are you guys enjoying Long Hair Fox here, looking like he's begging for the sweet embrace of death? Kind of reminds me of Double D from Ed and Eddie, the more I look at him. Then again, I mean, like, similar kind of I really wish I weren't here right now button vibes, I guess. Except, you know, more horrified than Squidward just hating his job. What am I even talking about? I live in the southern US, so it's constantly hot, so I want to die. That's not very good. Like, how hot are we talking here? Fahrenheit, Celsius, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm more familiar with Celsius, but, you know, I get the general kind of gist of how hot it would be. And it doesn't need to be 100% accurate, just kind of, you know. This image reminds me, I really need a haircut. That's fair. I went a while in quarantine without getting my hair cut, and it was awful. And my hair didn't get that long. It was only like a little bit past my ears, and I hated it. I thought it looked terrible. I felt terrible. I've had long hair before, which is why Fox here has long hair, because spoilers, the video that's coming up, the Foxtails video, is about me in high school being like super edgy with like ridiculously long hair, and old edgy artwork and things like that. I'm basically just punking on myself, which is what most of Foxtails is, honestly. Just me punking on myself. And I used to have really long hair. A, because I thought it looked good, which I have no idea why. And B, because and this is what this art is for, actually, I had a paralyzing fear of getting my hair cut. If you can believe that. I don't know what caused it. I think one time I went to the hair, to the hairdressers or something, and they cut a bit of my ear off or something. Or, like, not off, like, because obviously my ear isn't, like, there isn't, like, a chunk of my ear missing or anything, but, like, they nicked it. And maybe I thought they did. I don't know. I honestly don't remember. I'd have to ask around because it came up in conversation a lot, and I remember the answer being something to that effect. And I'm sure that it happened. I mean, obviously now it doesn't matter because I've had time to process it. Now it just doesn't matter. But back then, you know, I was far worse about my anxiety, and everything scared me. Now only most things scare me. I buzz my own hair, so that's good. Well, that's fair. I have also had... Basically, if there's a hair length, I've had my hair that length. And this sort of middle length I have now is probably my favorite that I've had it. The other being a while, I had it, I said a little bit past my ears, which drove me crazy, but if I let it grow out a little bit longer, around to halfway down my neck, it sort of starts to wing up a little bit, and it actually looks okay, but actually taking care of it's a real pain in the butt. So I just leave it like short to mid-range hair. I don't normally, believe it or not, I don't have this big puff of hair. My hair's actually pretty like flat and normal looking. I just like drawing characters with hair like that, I guess. Oh, made a boo-boo. That's okay. You might notice that some of these assets are a little bit rough. That's fine. A lot of these only show up for like a few seconds anyway. I'm more concerned if it's like an asset or whatever that's going to show up a lot, like say this pose right here, then obviously it's a little bit more pixely looking because we shrunk it. But obviously for the most part, I want to keep the details like good and consistent and all that stuff. But for stuff like this, I don't mind if it's a little bit rougher because I'm only ever using it once. And it's, you know, it's just kind of there, you know? Fox's Van Gogh confirmed. You know, if they did actually manage to take a nick out of my ear, you'd probably see that in his design. The thing is that I like adding in different little elements of myself. Like, obviously, the hair is brown like mine. The ears are fairly large, which, obviously, that's a Fennec thing, but it's not so evident when my hair is about this length, but when my hair is shorter, my ears are actually quite large looking. I don't know if they actually are large or if they just look large to me, but, you know. And that silver necklace that he wears, I actually wear that. That's real. It was a gift from my mother. It's not actually silver, but it's like, I think like silver plated or something. I don't remember. It's something to that effect. Hell, even there's this dog collar that I shared a picture of long hair Fox on Twitter, and he has this blue dog collar. I actually used to own that, and hang on, I'm actually gonna pull it up because I need to color reference it anyway. Video 10. Just, I don't know if you guys can actually even like see the no, you can't. Okay, cool. Because I was gonna say there was some mild spoilers coming up, but nope, none of that. Haha. Yeah, you see, this is basically the Fennec version of what I used to look like. This isn't what my character used to look like. My character used to look really different, but I basically used to look like this. Although I also had glasses. I didn't draw them on here because I would often not wear them because my hair would get in my face, and that would make the glasses get all greasy and disgusting because my hair was really hard to take care of. And at the time, I wasn't like filthy or smelly or anything, but I wasn't like the best at personal hygiene. Now I take it very seriously. Like I wash every day basically. I shave every 2 days. Sometimes I'll shave like every day, depending on how the hair is coming in and that sort of thing. But that's neither here nor there. That's just me talking about things that don't particularly matter, I guess. And it might be getting a little bit too personal for the stream, so let's not delve any further into that. But yeah, anyway, I wish I was Van Gogh. Well, actually, no, I don't, because he had a laundry list of unfortunate emotional issues, and, you know, but very skilled. Actually, my favorite classical painter. Van Gogh is actually my favorite classical painter, so, you know, cool. Also, that Van Gogh episode with Doctor Who is one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen. Like, not just of Doctor Who, just of television. If you ever get the opportunity, even if you haven't watched Doctor Who, it's a great one-off episode. I think it gives a good idea of what the show is like and what it's about, and the portrayal of Van Gogh is unparalleled. I don't know the name of the actor, but he does an amazing job. Okay, that's about 15 minutes. I think that's enough of Noki Bay. Ah, yes, Serena Beach. I love this song. This to me is I think this might be my favorite track in the game. I'm not even sure why, because it's not even like it's as memorable as some other tracks in the game, but there's just something so I don't know, relaxing about it, even though it actually kind of sounds a bit off kilter and menacing by this game's soundtrack. But there's just something about it that just, I don't know, it just sounds really lax. Like, I think it's I think it's that part. I really like how that sounds. Also, this level gets bonus points for leading into Hotel Delfino, which means I can, during that entire part of the game, even though it's frustrating and annoying and it makes me want to die, I could still make Hotel Mario jokes. And those are always, always, always welcome. In fact, if y'all in the comments want to, feel free to start quoting Hotel Mario. That will be the easiest way to make me smile. I'm very easy to make laugh, by the way, so, you know, hit me with whatever. I guarantee I'll at least chuckle at it. Or at the very least, I'll go like, oh, that's funny. You know, I am not hard to make laugh. Which is, I guess, a good thing, because it means that, you know, it's easier for me to get in a good mood. Of course, it's also easier for me to get in a bad mood, but that's just how it be, yo. I actually kind of worry sometimes that because, like, again, I'm really easy to make laugh, that my humor in my videos and whatnot isn't particularly complicated, and sometimes I worry that it might make it seem a little bit, I guess, lower class, or even in some cases, like, I say lower class, that sounds, that doesn't sound good, that sounds terrible. Lower tier, I guess, is probably a better way to put it. It's the less classist sounding version, of that. Yeah, I colored in the eyes already, I think. Well, actually, there's a really easy way to find out. Yeah, I did. Okay. Could have sworn I colored in the teeth, too. Be as personal as you're comfortable with. It's interesting. Yeah, I got to about as personal as I was, so there you go. That's why I stopped, actually. Dresser, Dr. Drjoshfox, say, do you have a valid, opinion about my drawing? Oh, by the way, just for everyone in the chat, I know my username is Dr. Drjoshfox. You can just call me Fox. It's just easier that way. Moreover, I have not seen your drawing, I don't believe. So I can't necessarily say for sure. I don't think links are allowed either, so you know my Twitter? If so, feel free to, like, at me. If you have a Twitter, at me, and I'll take a look, and if you'd like, I can actually, if you want, I can actually take a quick look at it on stream. If you want. Just for funsies, you know? We don't have a lot going on, this is going to be a really relaxed stream, so why not? And Milk Steak again. The best level of Sunshine is where you fight the giant manta ray. This is that stage, actually. And that's, ironically, one of my least favorite parts of the game. But, you know, it's a really cool-looking effect. Here's actually a fun fact about that. That boss fight is based on the ending of the original Shining, like the book. Because at the end of the book, it's described that, like, a shadow kind of overtakes the hotel, and it's vaguely in the shape of a manta ray. And what happens in Mario Sunshine, right? It's the similar kind of thing. Of course, in The Shining, there's no using water pumps to defeat the manta ray. But, you know, my favorite stage in Mario Sunshine, I don't know if I have one. It might be Rico Harbor or the... No, you know what? It's it's Peanut Park. I think my favorite level is Peanut Park. Not because it does anything particularly much better than anything else in level. I love theme park levels in games. Because I love theme parks. I love theme parks. I never get to go to them, but I love them. But yeah, Dressert, if you want, at me on Twitter, and if you do, let me know in the chat. And if you want, I'll take a look at your piece on stream, and I'll give some constructive criticism, but only if you want, because that's an important thing. I mean, that's an important thing. I mean, like, I know that when you upload something to the internet, you're welcoming yourself up to critique and criticism and all that good stuff. But on the other hand, this is a more personable experience where you're sat here watching my stream, and I don't want to just start criticizing or even, like, complimenting your work. Well, maybe complimenting wouldn't be bad, obviously, but, and just saying, like, oh, well, you could fix this, you could fix that, you could fix this, you can fix that, if you're not comfortable with me doing it. But yeah, the level of Super Mario Sunshine that you like, it's this one. It's Serena Beach / Hotel Delfino. Or as I like to call it, Serena Beach / Hotel Mario. Would you guys like to listen to my terrible Hotel Mario impersonations? Because I love doing them. Any excuse to reference Hotel Mario, I will take. I'm just that kind of guy. That's how you can tell what era of the internet I grew up in. YouTube poop and, like, Hotel Mario is, like, the funniest thing in the world to me, so... I actually have a Twitter account, you see. It's just that I'm using a different name here. Well, okay, cool. Well, then feel free to at me a piece of your art. Like, you can, like, DM me if you want, but preferably just, like, post it and then link it. Say, like, hey, Dr. Drjoshfox, what do you think of the... At Dr. Drjoshfox. It's the same thing. At Dr. Drjoshfox. What do you think of such and such? And then I'll bring it up on stream. Just let me know if and when you do it. Or if or when you do it, rather. What is your Twitter handle, by the way? Because if you're someone I know, I'm gonna feel really bad. Especially if you brought it up on stream before. And if I did forget, I apologize. That's not you. That's, I'm really bad with names, and I'm really bad placing people. I always have been, and I probably always will be. Like, I had, a coworker come up to me, a few, like, she was almost like a month ago, and... she was all like, oh, hi Joshua, and I was just like, hi, and then it's sort of like she never asked, you know who I am, right? I just sort of, it clicked while we were in the middle of conversation, and I had to stop myself going, oh, hi! Like, I was like, ah! I had to stop myself because I didn't want her to know that I forgot! So it's not you, it's not you or anything, it's me. I'm just really bad at remembering people. As long as we're making Fox look at art, would you like to take a look at my... Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. At me on Twitter and let me know if and when you do, because I'd like to take a look. And if you want, I believe, yeah, we could do some feedback. I'd like to look at some feedback as well. Admittedly, if this turns into just a talking about art stream while I sort of vaguely do Foxtails related things, that's fine. Pardon me. I would still like to get a few of these assets done, but I don't see any harm in just taking a quick break and looking at some people's art super quick, you know? Maybe in the future that's something I could charge for. So, congratulations, you'll be getting it for free. Not that I have the most amazing professional opinion in the world or anything. It's more just, you know, I know a lot of people are looking to improve. They're looking to critique, so... Or looking for critique, I should rephrase. Not everyone's looking to critique. I don't mind critique. I enjoy art critique. But I'm also terrified of it because of, if I put, like, a lot of hard work into a drawing and then the next thing I know I'm being told it's not very good, it's, it hurts a little. But on the other hand, it's also a good learning experience. It's something you kind of learn to compartmentalize. I was gonna say compartmentalize after a while, where you're just like, you know, it hurts, but it's okay, because from that pain, whether it be major or minor, I can improve. I should also mention, though, that not all the criticism you're going to get is necessarily going to be helpful. And hell, my criticism may not honestly be that helpful tonight. But I figured that, like, if you want to do it, it sounds like it could be fun, you know? Can I DE you? I'm not comfortable sharing it publicly yet. Yeah, absolutely. Just feel free to DM me over Twitter. Same with you, Drjoshfox, if you want to, same with you, Brandon, if you prefer. Yeah, just feel free to DM me over on Twitter, and we'll take, well, okay, well then, maybe, Great Milkstick, if you're not comfortable sharing it yet, publicly, maybe it wouldn't be a great idea if I shared it on stream then, because, I mean, it would be, I would be sharing it on stream, right? That's unusual. Sorry, something weird with, Sorry, just doing some quick alterations to the shadow. But, you know, if you're still comfortable with at least sharing it on the stream, I'd be more than happy to take a look at it. So we're gonna call this Spooked. My naming for my files is unmatched. Holy jeez, we've already run 38 minutes into the stream. That's the thing about these art streams. They tend to feel really quick. I'm fine with that, you know? I'm okay with that. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick look at the script and see where we are from there. You know what? I gotta do something kind of weird. I get to make assets for scissors now! Scissors. I'm gonna look up a reference for some scissors. Oh, excuse me. Huh, hang on. It didn't copy for some reason. Alright, there we go. So there's a reference. It's time for us to draw some scissors. This is my life. Skizors? Made it! Hi, CJ! Everyone say CJ. And, Dresser, that's okay. The name isn't... I wouldn't say the name is confusing, Brandon. Would you prefer Brandon? But either... but yeah, no, it's okay. The name's not... I mean, my name is Dr. Drjoshfox. My real name is right there in the username. I'm like, don't call me by my real name. It's okay. I'm very familiar with confusing names. And yes, CJ, old style Fox. I used to have, I used to actually let my facial hair grow out, kind of, and it never grew in right. It was always patchy and terrible. Ah, okay. So a milk steak. You sent me the picture. Did you want me to still take a look at it on stream? I'm gonna just wait till I get a response. Oh yeah, CJ, by the way, we're doing a sort of art critique today, so I don't know how often we're gonna be doing this, but I just thought it would be fun. But yeah, welcome aboard. Glad to have you. We're drawing scissors right now. I've actually, fun fact, never drawn scissors before, so this should be an exciting disaster. Because when it comes to props, they are not my strongest suit. I'm a character and location guy, and even then I'm not as good at locations than I am with characters. Perspective and whatnot often trips me up, and I'm good at coloring locations. I feel like I've got a pretty alright look for that, but when it comes to like figuring out perspective and whatnot, that's where things get a little bit tricky. Especially stairs. Stairs are the worst thing to draw. Oh my god, stairs. Worst thing ever. You can look on stream, yeah. Sort of art critique. Yeah, in that, a couple of people have asked if they wanted to take a look at art. Wanted me to take a look at some art that they've done. That is not what Milk Steak drew. That is a scissors. What the heck? It really doesn't want me to copy this, hang on. Copy image. If this doesn't work again, I'm gonna be so mad. Mad! Hang on, I'm gonna have to... Gonna have to do a bit of cheesing here, sorry. And also, don't worry about it not being flipped, that's okay, I can flip it myself. Alright, there we go. I don't know why it didn't fill in the whole image, but whatever. That is not what I meant to do. Let's, jeez. Sorry, I want to get, like, the whole thing in here. More specifically, I want to get the character's name in there. Okay, now I can more accurately, like, change canvas size. Here, I'm going to do this. I'm also going to give myself, like, a little bit of space so I can kind of, just sketch ideas out. Okay, so this is, Milk Steak's piece of art that they sent me over Twitter. Excuse me. And this is Valiant the Deer. This is their Sonic OC. First of all, I like that you made it a deer rather than just like a hedgehog or a wolf, or I say as I made a wolf. So that's cool. You don't see deers around very much. So if you don't mind my asking, the character is like jumping over something, because that's kind of what it looks. It looks like that they're like if you'll forget, this is an extremely crude approximation of what I'm getting at here, but they kind of look like that they're jumping over something, like so. Like this is like a wall, for instance. We'll just wall. Like that. Oh, your internet's acting up. It's alright, man. It's, well, I mean, it's not alright, that sucks. But, like, you know, if you need to, like, head off or something because your internet is, being a butt, then yeah. That's okay. But I'm assuming that they're, like, jumping over, like, a ledge or something, right? Vaulting over a wall, yes. Okay, so you got that down, because you're able to communicate that just fine. What I'd recommend is maybe looking up references of like a similar pose, and then drawing based on that. Pardon me. Because as it stands, you're communicating this idea well, like decently well enough. But the thing is that it's important to obviously draw from real life, but also to exaggerate. Like, again, even the example I drew, this isn't a very good example, because I could probably push this pose even further. Especially since it's a Sonic character, it's important that a lot of Sonic poses tend to be very dramatic. Like, if I can just real quickly... I'm looking for, like, official art. I don't want to, like... Wow, a lot of this is, like, fan art. Okay, here, I'll use, like, the Smash Brothers render as an example. Hang on, let me just, copy image... But, like, as you can see, it's a very exaggerated pose with a lot going on, a very clear-cut silhouette. So pushing the pose a little bit more, maybe, like, making him a little bit more, like, tilted, like I made here, kicking his leg up a little bit more, that sort of thing, I think would help a lot. The design is not bad. I'd recommend maybe adding in, like, maybe slightly altering, like, the head shape, making it a little bit more round, because Sonic characters' heads are pretty round for the most part, and then usually have something, like, coming off it, like Sonic is a circle, and then you draw the spikes. Or Shadow, or, like, it's a similar thing, or, well, Tails is a bit more ovular, it's a similar kind of thing, where it's, like, this, and then, this is very simple and basic, but then you draw the ears, and then the hair, and then so on and so forth. Perfect Tails right here. Also the perspective on the face. You can usually get a Sonic character down by drawing, and most characters down, by drawing kind of like a base. The sad part is I did use a reference. Oh, okay, you know what? I do kind of see it, but, then that's just going to come down to practice then. I wouldn't say that's sad, because here's the thing. Most artists, or actually a good chunk of artists, think that using reference is cheating. So automatically you've got a leg up on a lot of those people. No pun intended. But on top of using reference also, especially with a Sonic character, exaggerating that pose will help a lot. But getting back to the face... this isn't, like, the best example, but, like, you can usually, break a Sonic character, or really most characters' faces down like so. Where you just draw, like, a little net, and then you draw the very basic shapes. This will actually help with the perspective of a face a lot. Again, this isn't the best example because I'm A, doing this without a reference, and B, because, I don't know, I'm not in Sonic art mode right now. I'm in Foxtails art mode right now, but, you know, just this sort of thing. Maybe with some, like, lines. Again, very simple, but, you know. Do I link my drawing on here, or DM on Twitter, please? Because I don't think links don't work in the chat. So, unless they're by a mod. So, yeah, shoot it to me over Twitter. But there you go. Beyond that, I think you've got a pretty decent design here. I would recommend, again, slightly change the head, make it a little bit more round, and maybe adding in, like, maybe like a tuft of hair, or, like, some symbols. But beyond that, I think you've got a decent base for a character here. I would also just stylistically, this is a me thing, you don't have to follow this. Sonic characters tend to wear gloves, so maybe add some gloves. But beyond that, I feel like you've got you got a decent looking character here. You've got a good start. So good work. Keep at it. Keep doing it. And yeah, good work. Good work on Valiant here. If you don't mind my asking, what's his power set? Like, if he has any, because you don't necessarily have to have powers for your character. But if they do, what's their abilities? Even if they don't have superpowers, what do they do? I am very curious about that. That is, if you have figured out that part, yeah. Because I do remember you saying that, I don't know why. I do remember you saying that, like, you figure out the design first, and then you draw the character. Or you figure out the design first, and then you write the characters, I think how you said you went about it. Okay, got another DM. Hello, Brendan. Yeah, so did you have a specific piece of art you wanted me to look at? If so, yeah, DM me the piece of art. Oh, he's a wanderer. He didn't want to play into homeless stereotype. That's fair. You could make them like, you could give him like fingerless clothes, make them like nice like fingerless clothes with like designs on them or whatnot, because that is something that like you can use in Sonic Forces, for example. Alternatively, you could just give him like regular old white Sonic gloves. You don't have to. That's more of a me thing. I like giving my characters like the Sonic gloves. That's always something I've liked. When it comes to my OCs, like, I don't think I have the art on me right now because it's not plugged in. But yeah, the hard drive with that particular character piece isn't on. I wonder if I can like find it on my DVR. I like how this is the Foxtails asset stream, but instead it became the Sonic OC critique stream. That's just how it be. But yeah, no, maybe like some nice kind of cool looking finger gloves would work. He's a wanderer and doesn't have any powers, though. That's interesting. How do you mean like he's a wanderer? If you don't mind my asking. Oh, did I never upload this to DeviantArt? That's crazy. I never uploaded art of that Sonic OC to Deviant. Well, I can't find it, but whatever. I did upload art of a Sonic OC, and I, of course, gave her gloves. At least, I remember giving her gloves. If I didn't, the next time I draw her, I will. Especially since she's a winter-themed character, so it makes sense. Excuse me. Gonna give it like a black handle just because we can. Color. Okay, so, Dresser sent me his character. No, it's Sonic! No, he didn't make Sonic! He didn't make Sonic at all! Alright, I don't know why my browser's being a butt today. What? That was weird. Okay, snap. For a second, I thought, like, my VPN got pulled up. I was like, what? Alright, copy. Okay. So, now admittedly, this one's going to be a bit harder to critique because this is just a super basic reference, like you said in the DM. It's just kind of there to give you a kind of design ideation. Did you want, like, design critique or art critique? Oh, also, Milkstick got back to me. He grew up in an isolated community, but now spends his days wandering, exploring the world. Are you wandering around without a destination in mind? Okay, so he's just kind of a drifter. Okay, that's fair. It's actually funny, Sonic's kind of a drifter. They have that in common. Ooh. Ooh. Except for in Sonic and the Secret Rings. Apparently, according to that, he has a house. Also, I think the Sonic Labyrinth manual says something about him having a house, but we don't count Sonic Labyrinth because that game is awful. Actually, the more I think about it, Sonic and the Secret Rings kind of sucks too, so, are all the games that mention Sonic's house bad? Maybe that's why he's homeless. Because every time they mention his house, a bad game comes from it. I just kind of figured he just crashed on Tails' couch, frankly. I know it's a little bit weird that his 8-year-old adopted brother would have a house and he wouldn't. I always figured it was more just he chose not to. He chose to be a hobo. I can hear my roommates in the background. Alright, so the scissors are done. Well, actually, no, they're not, because I still have to do, like, all, like, the, oh, look, outer lines. One of my favorite things that this, thing lets me do is automatically generate a thicker outline if I need to. I heard my Dogo starting to go, like, brrrr. So I might have to mute the stream for a minute if she starts losing her mind. Oh wow, we listened to the entire song. See you later, what I wish. Alright, cool. It was cool having you. So you want both. Okay, so I think that as just a super basic reference, it's fine. For the design, I think he's also alright. I think maybe, hang on, if we're to, I think maybe you could use a bit more, like, variety in the, tones of color. Like, maybe make this, like, a little bit, like, more saturated, a little bit darker. I think maybe, well, actually, maybe that would make it blend more in with the fur. But, like, that kind of general thing, because, like, if you look, like I already, oh no, that's luminosity. Like I already showed, all, like, the values and whatnot are very similar. Or rather, like, yeah, all, like, the values, if you get rid of saturation, all the values are pretty similar. I mean, the hair is the one that's majorly different. That one pops out a lot, so maybe, like, maybe making the shirt closer to that value might actually help. Beyond that, I think the design is mostly okay. There isn't too much I would fix. For art, I would maybe recommend, I don't know how much of it you planned out before just kind of, I'm suddenly getting a bunch of notifications and I don't know why. It's okay then. Also, CJ wanted me to, excuse me, take a quick look at one of his pieces, so why the heck not? I might just rename this to just the art stream, but you know. Anyway, so say for instance, I want to keep your kind of style and general proportions in mind, but maybe adding in a bit more, like, finding ways to add in a bit more depth, I think would help a lot. Like, again, sort of plotting out the face like so. Plotting out where the eyes would go with, like, sockets. You don't always have to do this, but generally given you're more round and, I guess less, I want to say, like, they're still cartoonish, but they're not as cartoonish as, like, say, that art I did of Fox earlier, or one of these, where the eyes are huge and they, like, stretch and whatever. It's generally like, oh god, stretch eyes, that sounds terrible. Kind of plotting out where the eyes go, first drawing the sockets, and then drawing the eyes. This is actually normally how I do it. Drawing in the eyeballs, and then kind of shaping them as you need might be a good move. Given that he's kind of angry, though, that might not be, like, the best shape for them, but, like, you know, like something like so. Of course, while trying to keep your own style in mind, because I don't want you to just throw away, because that's really common, I find, in a lot of, like, art critique, is a lot of times basically just, well, don't do your style, do my style, and that's not really a great idea. Even now, I think I'm kind of teetering a little bit too far into, I think, but anyway, I think this would also help bring like the facial proportions together because it's kind of spread out a little bit. Making the nose a little bit closer, I'll keep the round head because I like that. I actually like that simple round head. I think it's cute. Maybe add like a little bit of a cheek, but not too much. And a little bit of a scowl. The teeth. And then just sort of draw the place where because the ears are just kind of, if you look, I never thought about drawing the sockets for. That's a lot of people don't. I actually didn't for the longest time either. And Dresser, it's okay. Dresser, just to let you know, this is gonna be going up on my YouTube. So no, don't open up another breath. Jeez, I have so many things on my taskbar. Anyway, this is gonna be going up on my YouTube, so you'll be able to check out all of this feedback again on my YouTube tomorrow when it's been uploaded. So when the what are they called? Archive has been uploaded. So but yeah, anyway, so draw where the ears should go. This is not the best example of how to do bunny ears. I should probably pull up a reference or something, but we're doing this really off the cuff, so whatever. And then lastly, plotting out where the hair goes on the scalp. This isn't always something I do, but with more complicated hairstyles, it can help a lot. So just kind of figuring out the kind of general shapes of the hair from like the starting point of the scalp when you're sketching. And just kind of apply similar logic to the whole drawing. Like, just a really basic kind of thing, and then just figure out like the dimensions of the drawing. Normally I'd usually draw the chest first, but given how like your style is supposed to be like fairly simplistic and cartoonish and cute, then I'd also, in some cases, I'd recommend drawing like a grid on the floor, just a super basic grid. It doesn't even really have to be all that accurate, but it will help you kind of place the character's feet. Because I noticed that the feet are a little bit inconsistent in terms of size and placement. Like this one is kind of teetering off to the side, while this one's a little bit more forward-facing, which I get that you're doing that, but the rest of the body perspective doesn't necessarily match that. So if we were to like say... You see, I just... And it's still really simple. It's literally just a shape with 3 lines. And then you just do the arm, start off with little wires or like just little basic lines, and then you draw in the shapes. Normally, again, with more complex styles, you'd have to draw more like complex shapes and whatever, or rather, not so much more complex shapes, but more shapes to help define the overall look. And then the hands, just again, keep them simple. Just start with a paddle, then maybe do some lines. If you want to make the hands a little bit more expressive, that's where you're going to have to get more into more complicated territory of drawing in all the joints. But even then, in a cartoonish style, you can generally cheese that. And just a little cottontail because I like tails. There you go. This would be how I would sort of go about revising it. It's mostly just, I think the design itself is mostly fine. Like I said, I think it could use a little bit, more dynamic values. But for the most part, like maybe change the shirt to a similar value that is light and dark, not saturation, which is the actual, like, how colorful it is, but value, which is light and dark. So, like, this is a very high value... Hang on. So, like, high value would be, like, white. Low value would be black. And then you could apply colors to that. So, like, So like a low value red, a very low value red would still be black, but then you push it up a little bit, and then there's a slight reddish tinge to it. Or if you put up the value all the way, you get just like a red, like that. You get a very bright red. So I'd recommend playing around with the values a little bit more, and focusing, even if it's a cartoon. Yes, every artist will draw a little bit different. But I do believe that generally the rules I've kind of applied here of just keeping, even if you're drawing a cartoon, keeping dimension in mind is a good idea. I think I may have given him a little bit too much neck, but, you know. This is a super rough approximation, and it doesn't have to look, if you want to revise this, it doesn't have to look exactly like mine. In fact, I wouldn't do that, but keeping those general rules in mind about dimension and, like, drawing in specific parts, I think, like, with more basic shapes and whatnot, rather than just going all in, which is what I used to do, will help you a lot. I hope that my critique was helpful in some way. Yeah, there you go. You got a good start. Just keep at it. If there's any recommendation I'd make, it's life drawing. Life drawing will help you a lot. So I'm just going to real quickly finish up this scissor asset, which I really don't, which is literally just scissor. Yep. Alright, and now... But yes, every artist will draw different. But there are some general rules I would recommend following. My key one is practice your fundamentals, which is to say basic shapes, just simple life drawing, that sort of thing. Because the sooner you figure out the rules, the sooner you can break them. And even then, you're always learning the rules, I find. Even now, I still have a long way to go. I still have a lot of fundamentals I could brush up on. And that's fine. You're always learning. That's the most important thing about it. You're always learning. Anyway, CJ, yeah, you sent me a piece of art that you wanted me to critique. Now, this is a bit more of a complicated piece, so I don't know how much time I'm going to spend on it because this is still an asset stream, but we'll see what I can do. That is not the drawing. My browser is being a butt. I apologize. Now, also, this is, like, a thing from Super Animal Royale, so admittedly, when it comes to, like, you sent me a ref for the character's costume, which is basically just your Sona in the game, because I think you can, like, make your character or something, but admittedly, I don't know what the not chocobo is supposed to look like, so... oh, wow, that is not what I meant to do. Change canvas size. There we go, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna change the music. Sky and Sea? I think this is... Yes, I like this one too. Okay, so right off the bat, I just want to mention, CJ, before I start critiquing, that I've been watching your art for a while, and you've improved a lot since I first started watching your art. I think overall, what I say here is mostly formality. And I think you're probably going to know most of what this is. It's just a matter of brushing up on your skills, which every artist has to do. So, I suppose, you see, my main thing is mostly the background. Which I have a feeling wasn't exactly your main priority. I think it was mostly these characters here. The background itself, it's obviously, it's very simple, it's very smudgy. Dress start, I would be fine with that, but these streams only go on for 2 hours, and I do still have assets to make. So maybe some other time, but for the time being, I think after CJ, I think I'm going to be finishing up the art critiques. Thank you, though. I'm very... It means a lot that you're coming to me for art advice, actually. That means a lot. It really does, folks. So, thanks a bundle. Y'all get a base boost in the chat. Just imagine I'm dabbing. Okay, so, in general, what I'd recommend for you to start doing with your backgrounds, and this is where things are going to get more complicated, is figuring out perspective for environments. Now, digital art has a few tricks for this. In my program, I have a perspective ruler, which basically means I can put down a thing, and I put down my vanishing point, and then from there, it's just automatically set up. See, I could just... and sketching out your background first, because as far as I can tell, maybe you did a really rough sketch and then you just blushed it all in with paint. Figuring it out by doing the perspective. So, like, let's just say, for example, I was to put down a... this is our horizon line, okay? And then I would put, like, a vanishing point, assuming that this would be in one point perspective. I actually have a feeling maybe it would make more sense for it to be in 2 point. And then just kind of figuring out, like, say, oh, I want to have a box here. I'm assuming you know all of this already, but just in case. Then, you know, you do the box, or I want to have a tree here, and then you do the box, and then you move things to the vanishing point. This is not a very good, this is a very rough example of what I'm getting at here. And then blah, 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 you keep it all in perspective. You draw the lines through, so you get a general sense of, like, dimension. This is all very rough, so as you can see, I didn't do it well at all. And then you could, like, figure out, like, the shape of the tree. Alternatively, something I like to do is I like to draw a little dude. And I'll start, like, I'll draw a couple lines from the vanishing point based on how I want him to be shaped, and I call him Vic, which is admittedly... well, no, that's technically a term I made up, sort of, in class, but the actual thing I didn't make, like, the process. And then you just super simple circle, and then just a super simple base for a body. Again, this isn't the best example of Vic, but again, we're running a bit low on time. And then from there, you can follow along, and Vic will always be in perspective. And you can give that as, like, a good reference for how you want characters to be heightened, and moreover, background objects to be heightened as well. So that way you can keep all of your trees in perspective. It doesn't look too bad here, but I could see how that could easily be, like, a kind of something you might trip up on in the future. That does make backgrounds take a while, but it's worth it in the end, trust me. As for the character, which is, I'm assuming, the main thing you wanted to focus on, my only real thing... Hang on. I would necessarily recommend outside of the usual, you know, just the usual practicing of drawing and whatnot, because for the most part, I think everything here looks fine. For your style, the anatomy's down pretty well. Maybe I would work on the perspective of the face, but, you know, and using what I recommended to Dresser to effect. Like, you mentioned that you didn't think of drawing the sockets. I think that could actually theoretically help a lot with your faces and whatnot. But moreover, my main kind of concern with your work is your line quality and your shading. That is to say, I feel like, I don't know if you use a tablet or not, but if you do use a tablet, I would recommend taking advantage of having pen pressure. Because pen pressure can actually help make a drawing look way more dynamic. Like, if I can find a way to turn off pen pressure super quick. Okay, so I'm not finding a way to turn it off, but if I can, I'll just use, like, my mouse pad as an example. So if you don't, not only can, like, your lines won't necessarily come out wiggly like they are on this mouse pad here. Okay, there has to be, like, a way to turn off, because this isn't going to help illustrate the point if I can't, is the thing. Oh, there we go. Okay, pen pressure. As you can see, it works, but it's very flat looking. Like, if I were to, like, say, let's go to that, I believe it was in Spooked. Yeah. Okay. So if I was to, say, do this piece, and I didn't include, like, dynamic lines or anything, I could still do it, but it may not necessarily come out as well as, like, if I say, included dynamic, like pressure. So not only would it make my line size much thicker, but also it sort of lacks the tapering effect that like say if you turn on pen pressure, it has. This already helps make it look much better. See, you have a lot more control, and it makes your art look a lot more, I guess, three-dimensional. Broad lines. I've experimented on pen pressure here and there. Well, even like a little bit. Then if that is the case, if it's meant to be solid bold lines, I'd recommend maybe making your line sizes bigger or possibly having a more noticeable outline around your character then. Even if you are going for like a more like solid kind of look, I do still recommend having on pen pressure, because even if you do like say make it so that the line doesn't taper at the end, it still helps with like it just helps to have pen pressure so that you can emphasize certain areas more. Like say for instance, I want like Fox's eyes here. I want to have it so that the edges of his eyes are more prominent because that's where his eyelashes are going. So I can do that by having pen pressure and make my life a lot easier. Even if I don't want the tapering at the end, I can just erase it. And I think it'll help a lot. The other thing I'd recommend is your coloring. What I'm getting from your coloration is that you're mostly just using the airbrush or some sort of blur tool or bevel tool with the color black. And black shading can be done, but only if it's like really solid and really stylized. I find a lot of the time just straight up black shading tends to make art look more muddy than it probably could. Because of laziness, to be honest. Never let laziness inhibit your ability to draw. Because if you do, then you'll start creating products that you're less satisfied with. And I think that with your style, if you are going for a kind of flat Paper Mario-ish kind of, well, maybe not Paper Mario, but that kind of flat cartoonish look, almost like a vectorized kind of look, and maybe recommend studying vector art, and B, I think adding those outlines might help. But again, getting back to your coloration, even if you like here, I'll see if even if you like want to keep your shading soft, I'd still recommend using a tone instead of just doing straight black or gray. Most of my drawings are done. Okay. Well, that's Dresser. Most of my drawings are done in Colors 3D for the Nintendo. Interesting. There's a Nintendo Switch version of that coming out, and it's coming out with a tablet. So keep an eye out for that if you have a Nintendo Switch, Dresser. There's also a bunch of really cool art programs you can get it for free. Clip Studio Paint is not free, but it is very cool, and it goes on sale pretty frequently. But there's a lot of I think Krita is free, and that's a really good one. Fire Alpaca is free. That's another really good one. I don't use GIMP. That's the only thing I can really recommend. Don't use GIMP. It's terrible. And Photoshop is a industry standard if you're interested in art, so you will probably have to use it. But personally, if I can help it, I never use it because A, I hate Adobe, and B, I don't find Photoshop as particularly friendly. Like, it's a powerful tool, but I find it very obtuse. Anyway, so kind of getting back to what I was trying to say with CJ. Apologies for constantly getting off the rails here. Oh yeah, the perspective stuff. Yeah, but CJ, I don't know if you're here for this, just to really quickly kind of recap on that. I'd recommend creating a horizon line and a vanishing point for your art, and to help with figuring out the perspective of different things, draw a dude, just a really simple dude, up close, and then that'll help with perspective in almost every angle that you need to get it done in. I call him Vic. He is Vic for vanishing point. So I'm just going to really quickly just, you know what, I'll just make it like okay, so here is just a super basic circle. Now I'm gonna fill it in with color. Why are you betraying me like this, selection tool? Okay, there we go. Alright, so I'm just gonna fill it in with some color. We'll say just like a soft blue or like something. There you go. Now, if you fill it in with black and the airbrush, I'll try it next time for certain. Very good call, CJ. I'm trying to get comfortable with traditional art before I make the jump to digital. That's fair. That's what a lot of artists do. I'm way more comfortable in the digital space than I am traditional space. If you were to like see me draw traditionally, my liner is way worse. I know very little about coloring traditionally. I'm just not a great traditional artist. There's nothing wrong with just going straight digital, but like getting back to coloration with CJ, what I'm getting the impression that you do is that you take the airbrush tool and you do something like this. And then like, oh, I made that all part of one. Oop. All right. Well, hang on. No problem. And that can work, but the impression I get is that it's very flat looking, as you can see. I probably shouldn't have colored this all in the same thing because I'm also getting the impression that you like lower the opacity. You can tell I don't do critique very often. But like, you do something like this. You fill it in with the airbrush. And then maybe you like lower the opacity. And this can work. But it looks kind of flat, don't it? I actually use the brush tool in the softest setting. Also 5 to 10% opacity. Okay, well, that's fair. Then it's sort of a similar thing, right? You use the brush. And using the brush is better than the airbrush for the most part. You can use the airbrush. I actually generally use it for soft lighting, and then maybe I'll add a bit of like, maybe I'll use like the brush for a bit of a texture. But even then, that's very faint. So it looks okay, but it does look a little bit muddy. However, if I were to like say, do the same thing. But like a very similar process by, excuse me. But instead I give it like a, okay, sorry. And then I like say, give it a bit of like a tinge. We'll say orange, like a bit of an orangey red, just because that pops against blue. And then I sort of brush it in, like so. Like you do, you use a fairly low. Admittedly, I'm using a higher opacity or more density of paint than you, but you know, kind of a similar thing, right? And then you go through. I would also recommend not being afraid to do like more strong-looking shadow, and then I switch it to multiply. It's a similar kind of or multiply or something like color burn. It's a similar effect, but it looks less muddy that way. Admittedly, I probably could have used a more saturated shade of orange. I could have used a more saturated shade of orange, like if I were to like, and maybe with like more value. But if I use like a more saturated shade of orange, and then change it to like multiply, it does look a little bit better. And it's subtle things like that that can actually help with the dimension of your piece. Because as it stands right now, I feel like the actual like underlying drawing is mostly fine, but your line work and your shading makes it look flatter than it could. And like I said, I've seen you improve a lot, and I'd love to see how you're going to continue to improve your work. My only complaint is that every other... I'm getting back to Dresser. The only complaint is that every other artwork software uses too much complex... That's fair. A lot of art programs are very intimidating. Like, when I first started using Clip Studio, I came out of using it from Psy a couple years ago, and I was so scared, because Psy is very simple by comparison. Psy's a good one, but you do have to pay for it, but it's a really good one if you're starting out, especially if you're using a tablet. But Clip Studio is a very powerful tool. It has a lot of different options, but it's actually very user-friendly, and if you really do need to, there are guides and whatnot online to help you figure stuff like this out. CJ, I would also, one last thing, CJ, I'd recommend having, like, as well, not being afraid to delve into, like, heavier shadows as well. Like, maybe even just, like, straight up, like, pen strokes, and then, like, changing them to, like, multiply or whatever, and maybe, okay, it's color burn, but, like, multiply, then editing opacity that way. This isn't a great example what I just did here, but I think that could actually help. If your art is meant to look very cartoonish and vectory, like flat shadows like that can actually, like, help a lot. Like, around, not flat shadows, but very distinct shadows can help a lot, rather than the softer, more beveled look you're going for. I think that's all I really have to say. Again, you've improved a lot since I first saw your art, and I'm excited to see how you continue to improve your art. Now, with all of that kept in mind, we've got about 30 minutes left, so I'm going to take this as an opportunity to just finish up the last asset I have to make for today, which actually does require that I have, like, classic Fox design on hand. So, or I say classic Fox, current Fox would actually probably be, but modern Fox, I guess. Fox Generations. Maybe I should draw that and make it, like, the most terrible, awful thing you've ever seen in your life, because that sounds really cringy. But yeah, I hope that my critique helped. Admittedly, I'm not a professional. Well, I technically, I guess you could say that I am, because you're a professional when you get paid for it, and I do get paid for drawing. But I'm not a teacher. So admittedly, some of so maybe not everything I was getting across was necessarily as well communicated as I would have liked, but I hope you get the general idea, all of you guys. And if you didn't, well, this is getting uploaded on my YouTube tomorrow, so, you know. Oh no, I've actually got a couple more assets, I thought. I've actually got quite a few. This is why you review your script, kids. Here, actually, this one could use both designs. So, yeah, you see Fox Generations right here. Isn't it the worst thing you've ever seen? All right. People messaging me over Telegram while I'm trying to stream. I appreciate you using your stream time to do this. Yeah, not a problem at all. Again, I don't know if I'll be doing this again for free. But look at it this way. Maybe I'll make that like a Patreon reward or something. I don't know if I ever make like a Patreon. If anyone would ever be interested in a Dr. Drjoshfox Patreon. I do actually have a Patreon. There's nothing on it. I mostly just bought it up so I could reserve it. So I could be like, there, Dr. Drjoshfox Patreon, nyek, 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 just in case I ever wanted to open one. Not that I'm necessarily sure that I'll ever get that popular, but you know, that's fine. You know, it's better to be prepared, just in case. As it stands, I'm mostly surviving on commissions right now, so it would be nice, but admittedly my consumer base for commissions is mostly like 2 or 3 people. And it's 2 or 3 people who commission me fairly frequently, but like There's so much to learn from. Not just me. I think there's a lot to learn from anyone. I could learn a lot from many an artist, even ones who are like objectively less skilled than I am. I think there's a lot I could learn from them. I think it's important that you always keep an open mind when it comes to learning, and you always be willing to learn. And I saw you checking your snacks there, Milksteak. What are you planning? Are you gonna base boost at me? Or are you gonna give some of your snacks to Fenbot? Because you can do that, and it makes him happy. Yum 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 yum. And then Fenbot is all like, "Hey, shoot me a tip." Fenbot's got got the right idea, fellas. You know, shoot me some of that sweet cash moolah. You know, get a shout out on stream. Anyway. I don't know if I blew out the mic there or not, but if I did, it's too late to apologize. It's too late to apologize. When did that song even come out? Anyway, now I'm just rambling about nothing now. But yeah, I think that you can learn a lot from almost anyone, is the thing. This is why I like watching streams. You get to watch others and how they draw and make small modifications. Yeah, also, there's nothing wrong with drawing. You know what, brah? If it makes you happy, go for it, man. As long as you're not creating anything that hurts anyone, go for it, man. If you're not advocating for anything that could hurt anyone, go for it. Draw whatever you want, man. I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't draw. Hell, I'm not even actually here to tell you how to draw. I'm just making recommendations. But yeah, admittedly, I don't watch a lot of art streams. When I watch people draw, I watch YouTube videos. Especially when I want to get in the mood to do art. Because, admittedly, sometimes it can be a little bit, like, slow to get in, you know? It's actually one of the reasons why I do time-lapses, is because I enjoy watching other people's, like, art time-lapses, and I wanted to, do a few of those. The first one I did, I had narration over, and it was awful. You could barely hear what I was saying. It was abysmal. The rest of them, I just had music over. Actually, I'm not even sure it was a time lapse. I think it was like the full time I spent doing the bees, so it was like half an hour or something. I think I called them speed paints too, which isn't entirely accurate. Speaking of, I do have an art time lapse of that picture you could do. Awesome. Maybe you should upload it to like your Twitter or something. Unless you already did, in which case I'm sorry if I missed it. And I love butts on this Christian street. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. I hate to tell you this, man, but this wouldn't be the first time. Of course, you know that. You've been around for almost every one of these streams, which I really appreciate, Milksteak. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. But yeah, no, man. Just draw whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt anyone. I don't think butts are going to hurt anyone. And if they do, then, well, meh, they can not look at it. Because that's not really advocating for anything destructive now, is it? Why did I draw, like, Cuphead lasers coming out of his fingers? Him fingies! Him fingies! Oh no, you did the eyes. So you like drawing butts now, do you? Well, we'll show you, old man! I love the young people! And I can't help but notice that Dresser did the eyes. Eyes. I see what you did there. I need the 420 air horns or something. Maybe I'll add those as a sound effect. Yes, smoked steak. Good. I love slide whistles. I've never owned one, but my uncle and aunt had one at their place, and when I was young, and I made great use of it. I love slide whistles so much. They're so stupid. Now, admittedly, if you're watching my art, you'll notice I'm not always necessarily putting every single thing I recommended to do here. Like I had said while I was talking to doing dress shirts. The way I'm doing the eyes here are very, very cartoonish and very, very stretchy, so I didn't put the sockets. I just kind of figured, just draw the shapes, you know? For instance. No, why are all these other programs opening? Bad! Ah! Ah! I like how, as this video has gone on, as I made assets. This was one of the first assets I've made, but I like how as it's gone on, old style Fox's hair has gotten spikier. Because that's just how it is. When I'm drawing characters, even if I draw their hair relatively flat, eventually they'll become spiky and or poofy. That's just how it is, yo. It's something I kind of have to curb myself out of doing because it makes some of my characters have very similar hair, and that's unfortunate because hair is a very distinguishing marker of character design. So, or sometimes even lack of hair, you know. Expressions are the number one thing I focus on. Yes, that's good. The thing about expression is that it's not just in the face; it's also in the way that you pose. Faces are good, yes, but if you say you draw a super happy character, but they're just T-posing, that could be really funny, but not for the reasons that you probably think it is. And I kind of want to draw that now, so I might honestly. In fact, CJ, if you feel free to draw that too, I don't know. It's whoever wants to draw that, feel free to draw it, because that sounds like it would be incredible. There's probably already an SFM animation that has it in there. Well, let's see if I can find the platforms of plenty. Shadow Mario, Hotel Mario, you'll pay Antissimo, Pianta Village at nighttime. We already listened to this one right now. Secret Course. Sometimes called platforms of... This is a commercial! Oh, hi, Shawnee. Dresser, yes, drawing is all about having fun in it. Even if you make money off of it, try and find a way to make it fun. And it's good to know that you're going to be doing your best. And hey, Shawnee, you're a bit late, but that's okay. It's just great to have you at all. You just missed it. We spent the last 45 minutes just doing art critique. So that was fun. I tried to cheat with the folded arms, but it ain't flying. Folded arms is actually something I'm not very good at drawing. I never have been. And yes, I have looked up guides and whatnot, and I always like it just doesn't fly. So, been busy with Aaron. That's okay. That's okay, Shawnee. It's all good. You don't have to. You don't have to be here like the whole time, and it's all good. It's not like I missed you or anything. No, it's all good. If you had errands, you had errands. Errands are more important than my silly little streams. Again, I'm just jazzed you showed up at all. But yeah, we just spent like the past 45 or so minutes. This is supposed to be an asset stream. We spent like the last 45 or so minutes just people sent me some art to critique, and that was actually a lot of fun. I was actually joking that if I ever opened up properly opened up like a Patreon, that'd be something I wouldn't mind charging people for. Just little art critiques, Nothing like super serious or anything, but just fun little art critiques and appraisals, I guess you could say. No coffee? Oh, I have a coffee. Hang on. You feel free to donate me a coffee. I actually, Oh, I didn't know that you had a coffee. Excellent. Is it okay if I show you my If you want, man. I mean, I'm probably not gonna show it on stream, but like, if you want to shoot that my way, I ain't gonna stop you. If you want, man. I don't know, if you want. I like that you specifically call it your butt drawing. You should add like a little trademark at the end of that. It's your butt drawing trademark. Registered trademark dresser 2020. But yeah, I do have a coffee. Actually, when I first started these streams, something I did was that if you donated to my coffee, you could influence things that happened in The Sims, or you could influence something I drew on stream. But that was not a very sustainable system because it required like me to be paying attention to my coffee, and it was just a mess. So what I'm thinking about doing now is getting that if people donate to my Streamlabs, they can request things to happen in The Sims and whatnot. Because I do have a Streamlabs set up now, and I should be able to receive donations from it. Like, hang on, let me... Tip. Yeah, if you go here to this link, you can tip me if you want. And maybe in future, probably like next time I play The Sims, I'll probably keep that in mind. I'll be like, you know what, if you tip to my not my coffee, to my Streamlabs, I'll do something stupid in The Sims. Like, it'll be for like a minimum amount, probably like $2 or $3 or something. I don't know. It depends on how interested people are in even changing the world of the Dr. Drjoshfox cinematic universe. Ha! Yeah. Great Milksteak got Communist Tom Nook out of donating. So, oh, and Bees with Teeth. You also got Bees with Teeth. That was a fun stream. It was a mess, admittedly, because I didn't know what I was doing. But that was a fun stream. That was a dumb stream. I loved it so much. It was so stupid. I was just drawing nonsense. And then Milksteak shows up and is like, here, I want you to draw Communist Tom Nook. And I'm just like, yeah! Because, like, what? Aside from the fact that he donated money, how do you say no to that? I think I ended up drawing him as, like, Karl Marx Tom Nook. Yeah, with, like, the beard and whatnot. I even asked for feedback while I was in the middle of the stream, and he was giving me feedback, and it was great. It was really, really, really dumb. So maybe I'll do, like, another art donation stream in the future, where people can donate, and, to my Streamlabs, and we'll just do it that way. Because admittedly, I would like to make money off of this, but I can't really because you can't subscribe yet because I don't have 50 followers. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I might start advocating more for that, being like, hey, you should guys get me to 50 followers. Best stream so far. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I really am. This, especially after my last stream went not very well. If you guys were there for that, which I think most of you were, the Shadow Generations second stream did not go very well because the hack started to mess up the game. Things weren't working right. It was just a nightmare, and by the end of it, I was just so fed up and frustrated. Like, I feel really bad by how poorly that stream came out. But I'm glad you guys are enjoying this one. I feel like it's a shame about Shadow Generations because I thought that first stream went really well, and then just suddenly this, like, you know what's really frustrating? There is an updated version of that mod. Apparently there is an updated version of that mod, and I had no idea, but I have no idea how to find it. And that makes me so mad. Because if I had known that, I would have gone with that one, with less technical issues. Oh, that makes me upset. It's also got like a nice updated interface too, so that makes me mad. Remember to like, comment, and so I like how Milksteak's comment came right after Fenbot's. It came right after Fenbot, letting people know that I have a Twitter. You might notice that Fenbot occasionally plugs my stuff. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Seriously, if you haven't followed my Twitter yet, that's where I think pretty much everyone in the stream who's here right now, because there isn't a lot of you. I think there's only like 5 or 6 of you. It's saying 4, but yeah, so there's like 7 of you, and although admittedly most of you are like admittedly there's a couple of you that are lurking, which is fine. If you're lurking, feel free to put exclamation point lurk in the chat and let people know that you're lurking. It doesn't really mean anything, but it's just a fun little thing, you know. I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish this before the 2-hour mark is reached. That's okay. I might actually just keep the stream going a little bit longer and at least finish this piece up. Admittedly, the other assets I have ready to go for the video aren't necessary except for one, so I might just skip those, because admittedly I do have to get this video edited by Sunday. So, you know. Oh, Shawnee gave me a coffee? Oh, well, thank you. Thank you a lot. That means a lot. Thanks a ton. That means a lot. It really does. A little bit, it helps a lot. And, Dresser, we should get more people to watch your stream. Yeah, absolutely. You want to know what would help? Just like a metric ton. Sharing, sharing the URL for my Twitch and my YouTube and whatnot on your Twitter or your Tumblr or your Facebook or whatever your preferred social media is. On top of that, when I'm about to start streaming, if you got some friends who might be interested, let them know. Ostensibly, the only way that I'm going to get more attention is if my... Like, obviously, I can post till the cows come home about how I'm streaming, but it isn't going to gain any traction if people aren't interacting. And people are interacting. But, like, the only way it's going to get even better is if we continue to interact. And interacting with my stuff, Milksteak joked about this, but liking, commenting, and subscribing, there's a reason why YouTubers go on about that so much, is because that's how they get noticed. And that's how their stuff gets passed around, that's how they get well known, that's how they make their money. And I'd like to do that. I'd like to do something similar, but it's admittedly been a little bit hard because I don't have the biggest reach. Which is fine, that's just how it is sometimes, but I could get a bigger reach if we're all out there sharing and letting people know that I'm doing these things. So I would really appreciate if you guys, next time I'm streaming or when a YouTube video goes up or want to share a piece of art, if you want to, like, retweet or whatever, feel free to do that. I would really appreciate it. I didn't mean for this to turn into a giant advertisement for please give me money, 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 but here we are. Well, actually, I say give me money, but it's free, you know. Anyway, that's enough. That's enough promoting my junk. Let's get back into the groove. Whatever that means. What does that mean, the groove? Why do we cook bacon but bake cookies? Why are people messaging me on Telegram? No. Quit. I don't know why you were open. On the plus side, I know I can use Nintendo Music now because they never pulled the stream, so that's good. Was that a Family Guy reference, Fox? Follow you on Twitter too. Okay, well, thank you for following, Shawnee. I do appreciate that. And if there was a Family Guy reference, that was on accident. Oh, the gimme money, gimme money, gimme money. Yes, that was Family Guy. I don't know why. That's what came out. Because, I mean, like, let's be real. You want to know why? Because it's the most cursed thing I could think of. And Family Guy is extremely cursed. So, I mean, there you go. I like how you just posted I'll, Shawnee. What does that mean? I'll what? I'll get you? I'll get my revenge? I'll see you at Subway? I don't... What does that mean? Why is that so ominous? Also, getting back into self-promotion, if supporting ya, woo! Also, if you don't follow me on Twitch, every follow on Twitch gets me closer to being able to become an affiliate. So, please do that. It's free. It's not like subscribing, we're going to pay for it. I actually can't ask people to subscribe to me yet because I'm not an affiliate. But making me an affiliate would help a lot. I'd be able to get custom emotes. I'd be able to ask people to subscribe if they want. There'd be another source of income for me. And I would just be able to have more robust options for my Twitch. You can follow my Twitch. I'd really appreciate it a lot. And my YouTube as well. My YouTube, because that's just how things work. Because I'm trying to make a living on the internet, so I gotta be all like, hey, follow me on everything. It kind of sucks, but that's the system. Wow, New Style Fox is a jerk. Also, if you follow on Twitch, I should mention you'll get a cute little notification like so. Let me see if I can console. Like so. It didn't show for some reason. Hang on. I love that. That's my favorite. Let's try that one more time. There you go, cute little animation of Tails. And your name. And then I'll say that you're like the best person ever or something, I don't know. Which is more cursed, Family Guy or Hotel Mario? I think Hotel Mario is of worse quality. I think Family Guy is more cursed. And as long as you don't start doing free gift card giveaways, I think you'll be good. Yeah, no, that's not really my style. I don't, like, maybe I'll be eating these words in the future, but no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to, like, shill out for shady companies or whatever. Like, I don't mind, like, if I do, like, a sponsor thing that I know is good, but, like, I don't want to be like, if you follow, you sub, you get a chance at a $100 Amazon gift card, and all you have to do is sell your soul to Amazon. I don't want to do anything like that, you know? I want to keep this stuff kind of, I don't want to say wholesome, because, like, I mean, like, we literally have a running joke where I swear at least once every stream. Hasn't happened yet. Let's see if we can keep it going. But we have a running joke where I literally swear every stream on accident. So I wouldn't say that my content is wholesome, but there is kind of a kind of family, not family. There's kind of like I guess you could say, like, a chill quality to my streams that I want to keep. I want it to feel very personable. I want you to be able to come in and just hang out, you know? That's the point. I don't want it to get too complicated. I don't want to be like, hey, what's up, gamers? I'm playing Baldi's Basics. Because that's what everyone's playing, you know? So admittedly, this shilling I've been doing is a little out of character, and I apologize if it was a little bit much. You think Hotel Mario's more cursed? I don't know. Like I said, I think Family Guy's more cursed. I think Hotel Mario is of worse quality. Though, honestly, if I'm being frank, I think I appreciate Hotel Mario more than Family Guy. If only just because Family Guy, it got, like, it got so mean-spirited and so uncomfortable. And I know it's always been a little bit mean-spirited, but that's kind of my main... It's so mean-spirited, and it's so cruel. And it just loves punching down, and I can't, in good consciousness, enjoy humor like that. Like, I love dark humor, but there's a difference between, like, dark humor and just being cruel, especially to people who can't defend themselves. Meanwhile, Hotel Mario is dumb and stupid and very poor quality, but it's funny poor quality. I'm laughing at it because it's doofy and silly, and it reminds me of when I was young in YouTube Boo. But Family Guy, to me, just... Those first few seasons are fantastic, and then, like, everything after that. I couldn't even tell you the specific point when it started to go off the rails. But even by Family Guy standards, it just became so cruel and so uncomfortable. And just watching it now is just so uncomfortable. Like, it really desperately... Like, it used to really desperately want to be The Simpsons. Now it really desperately wants to be South Park, is how it comes off to me. Without actually getting... And this is coming from someone who doesn't really like South Park. Doesn't really get what makes South Park work. It thinks, oh, well, just being mean and cruel is why South Park is beloved and considered funny. You know, it has nothing to do with social commentary. It's just being a jerk to people that we don't agree with, or even if we do agree with them, haha, we know that mostly, like, homophobic 14-year-olds watch our shows. So anyway, we're getting into... Yeah, Hotel Mario is funny in a good way. It's, I mean, even though it's not supposed to be funny, really, it's funny in a good way. It's a good, dumb, wholesome kind of thing. And don't get me wrong, people have used it for similarly cruel content, but that's a case-by-case basis. That's reinterpreting an existing kind of thing with outside people. And there's so much good, funny YouTube poop that's just not uncomfortable to watch, you know? And Hotel Mario is just... There is kind of a charming naivete to Hotel Mario, in a way, I guess you could say. There's kind of a charming naivete to it. Whereas Family Guy, everything about it, from its, like, unfortunate art to its slowly devolving characters, all feels very intentional. And that's why we make fun of it now, because what was once a good show is now this very mean-spirited vehicle for assholes to just be assholes. But again, like, we're getting kind of oddly into... Sorry about knocking there. We're getting kind of oddly into socially stuff. And while I'm not against talking about that, I don't want it to be too much of the stream. So, TLDR, Hotel Mario, I prefer, even though it is technically of worse quality. Family Guy is more cursed. I don't know if that was the answer you wanted. If it wasn't, oh well, at least I tried. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna just do something super quick.
Nice of all. Nice of the stream to invite us over for a picnic, eh, old style fox?
I hope they made lots of death. I am extremely proud of myself. I found an excuse to play Hotel Mario music during a stream. I am so proud of myself. This is going in the highlights reel. I don't care. This is the best thing I've ever done creatively. That's it. Everything after this is downhill from here. Just blaring Hotel Mario music during a stream where we just finished talking about the social implications of Family Guy. This is the most deliciously cursed thing I've ever involved myself in, and I'm so glad you're all here to share it with me. When I get jeez, what's it called? When I become an affiliate, I'm making Hotel Mario emotes, so just look forward to that. I don't know why I felt the need. I could have just... Okay. I'm too busy being proud of myself for Hotel Mario to make sense, I guess. Stories tell the kid.
Luigi? You know what they say? All toast is toast toast.
You know what, though? Hang on. No, you know what? I was gonna put on Pearl singing the Family Guy theme, but then I realized that I don't know if Fox, like, / Disney would exactly be Family Guy's owned by Disney now. Just let that sink in. Anyway, would exactly be keen on that, so, no. No, but anyway, just imagine Pearl from Steven Universe singing the Family Guy theme. We'll just keep the Hotel Mario party going, I guess.
Dear pesky plumbers, the Koopalings and I have taken over the Mushroom Kingdom. The princess is now a permanent guest at one of my 7 Koopa hotels. I dare you to find her if you can't. We gotta find the princess.
And you gotta help us.
If you need instructions on how to get to the hotels, check out the enclosed instruction book.
I actually know that I used to know all of the Zelda and Hotel CDI and all the Hotel Mario cutscenes off by heart. I don't anymore, but I used to. Why did I unselect if I knew I was going to have to do it? Apparently the Hotel Mario music is rotting my brain. So, here's a cursed fact. I've actually beaten this game. And the Zelda, and the two funny Zelda CDI ones, not the third one, not the one with the photo, not the one with the pre-rendered like photo actors, because that one's not as funny to me. But I have actually beaten Hotel Mario and the 2 Zeldas because there's this CDI emulator, and just to let you guys know, don't subject yourself to these games because I don't think there's really a good CDI game. Like, I'm struggling to think of I think there's, like, a game literally called, like, Chaos Control, which is hilarious. And that's considered pretty alright, but, like, I think that's it. Maybe there's, like, a Tetris or something, but whatever. But two, like, because these games aren't very good, obviously. And two, and this is the big one, setting up that emulator is a nightmare. And there's almost no resources on how to do it properly. So I basically had to do a ton of troubleshooting. At least there wasn't. This was years ago. So for all I know, it might be much better and much easier now. But back then, it was a headache. Oh man, YouTube hoops were my thing in my teenage years. Even like earlier than teenage years for me. I was into it when I was like in like grade 6, grade 7, grade 8. Like when YouTube Poop started, I was around for that. Like in like 2006, 2007. I was around for that. The first YouTube Poop I ever watched was called Mephilis's R word that I can't use because it's a slur of revenge. And yeah, that was and I wouldn't use it anyway, even if I was allowed to. Don't use the R word, kids. Anyway, and I don't remember a thing about it other than it being Sonic 06. And it wasn't very good. But then I discovered the magic of Zelda CDI, which originally I thought was a cartoon show, and then I found out it was a game, a Nintendo game, not on a Nintendo platform, and I was so curious about that. And I think it was one of the first really, I guess it's not really obscure anymore, but it used to be, kind of games I really researched into. And then in high school, I decided one day it's time for me to finally play these games. I found an emulator one time when I was really, really sick. And I was staying from home for a couple of days, and I just went to town. And those are not very fun games. Hotel Mario is not terrible, actually. But it's not really great either. And the Zelda CDI games are glorious train wrecks. Like, they are so bad that they're honestly kind of funny. But they're also a nightmare. But yeah, YouTube Poop's been a part of my life for years and years and years and years. I actually used to make YouTube Poop, if you can believe that. I used to make these YouTube Poops. No one watched them. No one cared about them. Which, you know, is probably for the best because they weren't very good. But, like, I made YouTube Poops. And I made several different types of YouTube Poops. Again, none of them were very good. In the end, the final ones that I made were in early high school. And I kind of settled on what I like to call Robotnik-style YouTube Poops. Where it was just the title would be something like, I don't know, Robotnik invests in BMO or something. And then it would have nothing to do with the title. I always thought that was like the funniest thing ever. I still think that's funny, frankly. YouTube Poop is exactly my sense of humor. Anyway, I'm actually kind of getting sick of the Hotel Mario music, so I'm going to turn it off now. No, that's Serena Beach. We already listened to this. Here, how about Hotel Delfino? The controls in the... Oh, they're worse than Poop. Okay, let's put it this way. The CDI only regularly uses, like, 2 buttons, even though it has 3, generally, on the gamepad, right? So in order to pause the game, you have to bring up the status menu. So in order for you to be allowed to have an attack and for you to have a separate sub-weapon, you have to... they had to figure out a way to make you pause the game. You want to know how you do that? You crouch and you press the item button. You crouch and you press the item button. You crouch and you press the item button. Oh, it hurts. It hurts so much. Maybe I'll play those games for a stream sometime. But yeah, no, they are absolute garbage, the controls. Everything is stiff, everything's awkward, the thing I already brought up, items are unreliable, and perhaps the biggest problem with the game, that at least that I found, is that there is no post-hit invincibility. There's no iframes. Which means there are specific times where if you jump into an enemy, that's it. You're getting multi-hit until you die. there are very specific moments where that's a significant problem. Like, admittedly, I will admit, throughout most of the game, I actually didn't have too much of a problem with it. But as you continue on, there's like this one specific part in Wand of Gamelon, I believe it was Wand of Gamelon, where you're jumping on these very narrow, like, branches. And there's, not only is it really hard to get because, like, you sort of hit your head on the box, or, like, the top of the screen, and I think the screen goes dark because that game loves that for some reason. There are enemies crawling all over, and because you already have a stilted jump that's already stilted, like, an even more stilted jump than normal, it's already stilted. You end up jumping into those enemies a lot and taking a lot of damage. What other part we have to use like 10 bombs? Did you figure that out? Or did you look it up? Did I figure what out? Or did I look it up? The hit stun thing? Or the pause? I already knew about the pause. The hit stun thing I had to learn the hard way. Because, or rather, here's the thing. I had heard about it. I'd forgotten about it when I started playing the game. And it was immediately evident. I was like, oh, no. With that said, I ended up figuring out some of the game. And then, like, another chunk of the game, I just got tired of it. And I was mostly by the end, I just got tired of it. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to cheat. I don't care. And I just looked up guides and videos and whatnot. And as funny as that game is, actually playing it, unless, like you're in the right... Like, admittedly, I was sick. So maybe, like, admittedly, like, the games are funny, and I will always love them for being so terrible, but it takes a lot out of you when you play them. Those are not fun games to play. They're fun games to laugh at, but they're not particularly fun games to play. I wouldn't recommend it, frankly. Like, maybe if you're very curious, but, like, nah. Yeah, there was a part where you had to shoot, it's in Faces of Evil. There is a rock in this giant fish skull, and you have to shoot like 10 bombs into it in order for it to explode. And it's terrible. Only Zelda game you've played is Breath of the Wild. That's fair. I'm a pretty big Zelda fan myself. Like, I always have been. Like, ever since A Link to the Past, even though I am of the opinion that that game doesn't hold up as well as some people make it out to, but I understand why people really like it. I personally prefer Ocarina Majora. Like, Majora's actually, like, my favorite Zelda game. But, I've grown up with Zelda all my life. So, it's really important to me. It's actually one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about Skyward Sword, because that game was so interesting, and then when you actually play it, it sucks. I mean, it's not like Zelda CDI bad or anything, but... I mean, you picked a good game to start with. Breath of the Wild's really good. I think, going back to Zelda CDI, I think the fish head thing, I think that's also the cutscene where, like, the animation and, like, gets even more choppy. Because, like, the Zelda CDI animation is bad, but it's not really because it's choppy. It's because it's, a lot of the time, it's first of all, the character designs are gross. And second of all, it's weird and inconsistent. And third, it's overly fluid. Which can actually be a problem. But this cutscene has a different problem where it's, like, really choppy. It's the old dude going, like, thanks, that's the last time I'm going fishing. See you in Sakado. And it's, like, the animation is, like, really choppy. There's, like, so many... It looks like that there's missing frames or something. It was to the point where when I first played it, I thought that was because of the emulator, but then I think Peanut Butter Gamer did a video and showed the cutscene, and it was exactly the same. So I'm either A, he played the game on an emulator, or B, that's exactly how it is. I've never seen that cutscene with all the frames of animation, if it does exist. You've seen a Let's Play of the first Zelda game, if that counts. I mean, you at least understand it then. I mean, that's something. Some people don't even understand it, and they have played it. That's a very cryptic game. And I kind of like it, but admittedly, it has aged quite a bit. It has aged quite a lot. I think that's another reason why people just really like A Link to the Past, because it's basically just, what if Zelda 1 was good? And had, like, a better, more involved story and all that good stuff. Well, actually, you know what? I say that, that's more like the Game Boy, like, Link's Awakening, I would argue, is actually a little bit more like that. Which I have not played the Switch remake of that yet. I should probably get on top of that because I heard it's pretty damn good. So, and I love the art style. Actually, this kind of sounds like a Mario's Missing music the more I listen to it. I also beat Mario's Missing because I hate my life. And with this pretty funny little, oh, actually, hang on. There's just some quick correction I need to make. Hang on. That's gonna bother the poop out of me if I don't fix it. Oh, is that still line work? No? What is that? Okay, what is that? Is it... You know what? It might be in the copy. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, let me just real quickly. Alright, I think that's about it. I think we're done for the night because it is 9:17 and I wanted to extend the stream just so I could get this this last asset done. I'm actually also editing the video while I'm making these assets, which I actually found has been a lot easier this way. A little bit more work all at once, but I found it's let me give a bit more time to myself and figure things out, so, you know. Anyway, I'm just gonna stop the music here. I want to thank... It was great, man. See you next time. Well, I'm just really glad y'all decided to just pop in, say hi, you know, it means a lot. Now that the stream's over, though, I suppose the only thing I can recommend is, let people know, oh, actually, one more thing. I do have an announcement. On Thursday at 7, the current plan is because my stream before this went so poorly, I voted on Twitter as to whether or not we wanted to do an extra stream this week, and I've decided that because the stream went well, or rather not the stream, the poll was in favor of more streaming of another stream. I've decided to do it, and the stream is going to be the glorious return to Furry Sims 4. We're going to go back to Sims 4. We're going to have some fun tomorrow, or rather Thursday, not tomorrow. I want to take a day off in between for streaming. On Thursday at 7 p.m., same time, let people know. It was a lot of fun. Great. Thank you, Milksteak. And thank you, CJ. And I'm sorry we're ending the stream, Dredger. But with that said, let people know about the stream when it sort of rolls around. Let people know that I have a Twitch. Let people know I have a YouTube. Let people know I have a Twitter. All that good stuff. You're probably gonna hear a bit more of me hawking my I guess you could say product now because you know I'd really like to get I'd really like to make streaming and YouTube and art my full-time job. You know, I'd really like to make this interacting with you guys as my job. It's what I want to do. Oh, there's some weird stuff going on. Oh no, never mind. It's just anyway. That's what I'd love to do, is just creating content for you guys. So, all of the mushy pleasantries out of the way. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on Thursday. If you show up, we're going back to The Sims 4. Woo!